In this video, I'm just going to use an Endmill to plunge straight down and make the dots for my dice. So I have, just for this, I can just use, since this is aluminum, a high-speed steel cutter. If I look at the tip of it here, it is a center cutting Endmill, so that allows me to plunge straight down. If I didn't have the flutes come all the way to the middle, I couldn't use this Endmill. So I'm just going to throw this in the collet. So in my previous video, I showed you how to touch it off with an edge finder. So I'm using that exact same setup here. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna touch, I'm gonna set my 0 and I'm just gonna plunge in, I don't know, about 25 thou here. So what I'm doing is I'm just raising up the knee. And again, I have, just like I did on my face milling, I have this locked up here so it won't be pushed up. And I'm raising my knee to get my depth. So I'm raising this up here, and I'm just gonna bring it up until I start to see some chips form. So right about now I see some chips, okay? I zeroed out my Z on my DRO, or I can zero out on my graduated collar here. I can zero that out. And I'm just gonna raise it 25 thou here. So I have my first dot here. So what I did when I was setting this up is, this is something I like to do if I have to do multiple work pieces or I wanna use the same setup, okay? I put a parallel on the edge of my vise here. Okay, so this allows me to take my workpiece out, and all I have to do then is just slide it until it touches and lock it down in place. So this saves me from, if I just put it in the middle, when I'm indexing to get all of my dots, then I would have to re-pick it up each time. If I just put a parallel across my jaws here, push my workpiece until it touches, I don't have to keep on retouching it off. So I'm just gonna loosen this off here. Okay, and now I can start to index it to my different sides. So I have it flipped here. I have my 1 here, so I'm gonna do my 5 on this side here. I'm gonna push this against here. I'm gonna slide it against. I'm gonna touch it down here. I do need to hit it down. So I have my DRO zeroed out, and I can just move it to the side, tap it down to make sure it's sitting flush. I could also, if I didn't want to lose my position, if I didn't have a DRO, I could just drop my knee down. All right, so I'm gonna get this going, and again, I'm just gonna raise it up and do my cut. So I have my first one done, and now I'm gonna move to my other hole locations. So it depends on what size you made your dice. I'm moving 400 thou in X and in Y to get to my location. So I'm gonna do 400, 400, 400, 400 to all get that. You can just make up something that makes sense in terms of the sizing, but please write these numbers down because that will be important for the other sides. Now I'm gonna do the 2 sides so I can use this one and that one. So again, my 1 and then my 2 side, and I wanna keep it consistent, so I'm gonna push it against the parallels here. And then I need to tap this down So I'm gonna move it out of the way. Okay, so now I'm gonna do the 2 side. And now I'm gonna do the rest of my sides. All right, so there I have my sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's my 6-sided dice.